What's up, fam? Guys, it's the day after Christmas, and I hope everybody enjoyed Christmas. I hope y'all had an amazing day. Um, it was a little stressful for me. I could tell by a lot of the comments that I got that people was concerned about how I was going to be spending my holiday. Being that I don't have my relationship with my family, friends, and I'm in the middle of the divorce, right? Because I've been sharing all of this, a lot of great people have been concerned about how you can make it through this thing. And I don't blame you. Being in law enforcement, we know this is a time, well, when I was in law enforcement, this is one of those big times a year where a lot of people decide to go ahead and end it. You know, I am by no means anywhere close to that, but knowing that, I really appreciate each and every one of y'all who reached out to me and was concerned and gave a comment about, hoping that I was having, a good day and I was gonna get through this because all this stuff is important. Whenever you're going through things, you know, people don't understand when I say community. It's not about monetary. It's not about you giving, you know, other kind of value. It's the value that you actually have in life with each other. And you know, being that so many great people have found this channel and has been giving me life, they've been giving me words of encouragement, you know, even acknowledging other issues, I appreciate it, because you took the time out and you came over and you said so. Now, grant you, you know, in general in life, I don't really like mean people because those are, when I say mean, that just mean just nasty. If it's just a true thing and I don't like it, then that's one thing. But if you're just naturally just trying to be nasty, especially in a situation like I'm in where people will tend to actually decide to end their life, you know, um, it's kind of cruel, but I'm a big boy and I can take it. But I don't recommend that, you just go around doing it to people, because you don't know what kind of effect that you could have on another person's life by just, in general, just intentionally just trying to be nasty, all right? Because that stuff will come back around on you, and whether you believe it or not. And don't wait until you get in a situation where you need support and you don't have nobody and people just being mean to you to realize how bad stuff like that can be. So, being a community and stepping up for people when they're in bad spots, and we all get into them, right? So it is absolutely important to have, good people who want to reach out and actually say good things to try to make your life better. I mean, it don't cost nothing, right? Just the time it takes to wish well on somebody, give them some advice, that's hopefully going to benefit them. You know, that means more than anything because what giving somebody money going to do if they decide not to be around, right? So, I hope at some point that some of these people who are just nasty for no reason actually reflect on, what they're doing. But of course, they're trolls and they do what they do. So therefore, I ain't blaming them too much. But I want everybody else who actually decide to go through something, and then you have people who just naturally want to be uh, nasty, to know that that's not our average person. You know, those are not real people. Life is really hard for them, and it's really bad for them because it can't be but that. That's the only reason why they can spit so much venom and so much nastiness to other people is because their life is so horrible, and so miserable. But I would definitely love to hear everybody's experience with yesterday. How was Christmas? Did you enjoy your friends and family? Did you get some nice new exciting toys? Yeah, so I decided I was gonna sit home for Christmas, and um, to be honest, it started to bother me. Because as I was sitting there, and I was just working, working on videos, trying to get some content out, and I started getting in my head a little bit, and then reading some of y'all comments saying, do something, enjoy yourself, you know, do something for yourself, and I was like, you're right. There ain't no sense in me just sitting here. Let me go and do something. So I just jumped in the car. I didn't know which direction I was going, and I just decided, let me come up to the ATL and see if I can find something to do up here. And so I searched as I was driving, what could I be doing when I come up here? And if you're familiar with Atlanta, you know where I'm at, right? You know, it is a really nice view from up here, and I'm only on one side of it. But I'm gonna go around the city a little bit today, and I'm gonna be a tourist. I'm gonna go and see what's to see. I'm gonna take some pictures. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna get my mind off of everything. The homestead will be okay. I got it set up to where I can actually be away for the day and be okay. And I thank each one of y'all who actually gave me this advice. Um, when you get in your head a little bit, guys, it's bad sometimes. You don't want to be in your head unless you having constructive thoughts. You're trying to put something together that will benefit you later in life. You know, then that's a great time to be in your head because you need to strategize and put things in perspective. But when you got something potentially bad going on in life, to sit there and focus in on it let you not recognize all the great things that's going on in life. All you're doing is focusing on that one negative thing when there are so many amazing things that's going on. Like the fact that you're breathing, that you're alive, that you're healthy, you got food in your belly. All those things are amazing. And you don't think nothing of them until you don't have one of them, you know? So just being able to take a breath, your heart just beating on its own, not having no problems, it is an amazing thing. And ask somebody who's having that problem how amazing being able to not have that problem is. So, I definitely want to hear from each one of y'all. Tell me, how did it go? How was Christmas? Okay? Or was it just amazing? When it comes to these holidays, everybody got their own way of looking at these things. I try to appreciate the most important things every day. So I don't need no one particular day to be focused on that, And, I have been like that for years. Since my daughter became an adult, when she got grown, Christmas has not really been a thing for me. When it came to Christmas, because it was so important to me as a child, I wanted to make sure my daughter had that experience. To be able to believe in something that you can't see, to have hopes for something special. And that's what it meant to me. I celebrate the Lord every day. I appreciate and celebrate love if I'm with somebody every day. I don't need a special day. In my mind, that's a commercial thing to get money out of people. Well, if you're doing it every day, there's no need to sit there and focus in on one particular day and then go broke for it. Because if you got a loved one and you see something that you want to get for them, you get it for them. If you see something they might, appreciate and respect, you get it for them. You don't have to wait for one particular day to do that. So I don't fall into the commercialized holiday thing. Everything is, some special day, and you need to go out and spend money on it. Only thing I will focus in on is birthdays. That's that day that you was brought into this world, and you know, and that is a special thing to your loved ones and to you. Should be. But the other stuff that'll be celebrated every day. And I only celebrate my birthday on my birthday. I don't celebrate it no other day because it's only special that day to me. I know people celebrate it for their whole month, you know, but yeah, that's not me. And to each his own, right? But my my way of thinking is, um, I'm an individual thinker. I'm gonna put it that way. I'm not a group thinker. I'm not gonna follow the crowd. I'm not gonna do what everybody else do. If it makes sense to me, it's when I do it, and it only has to make sense to me, you know. And if I'm with somebody, the way I think gonna have to make sense to them too. And if they don't, they have the choice to not, deal with me, right? So that's just the way I am. But again, guys, thank y'all. Thank y'all for y'all advice. Thank y'all for your love. Thank y'all for everything y'all have been doing thus far. Regardless of whether you think it's necessary for you, it's necessary for me. And this is how I deal. And no, and nobody know me like me. And when I ask for advice, I'm all open. I want to hear it all. I want to hear the advice that everybody has. You know, I can tell when it's genuine, even if I don't agree with it. If it's genuine, it's genuine. If it's disingenuous or it's just somebody just trying to be nasty and mean, then that is what it is. It comes with the territory. I take it. But just know that these are not happy people. These are not good people. These are miserable people who love to bring misery to other people. And if you ever in a situation and you see that coming, you just know it's not about you. It's not about you that this person is just being nasty and mean. It's about them. That's telling you who they are and what their life is like. Bitter people can't help but be bitter. You know, and I'm gonna tell you, people who living an amazing life, a life of purpose, they got something going on. They ain't got no time to sit there and try to dog on nobody. You know what I mean? Because life is just too good. They can't even see all that negativity that you're talking about. A negative person who ain't got nothing going on, no ambitions to be nothing, no hopes to be nothing. It's just a bad, genuine spirit. They can't do nothing else, besides spread how they feel amongst other people, which is a sad thing. But that's the reason why I work so hard to build community, because there's a bunch of us, a bunch of amazing people in this world, and we just happen not to find each other a lot of times. And misery is loud, guys. So when people are miserable, they talk a lot. They do a lot of bad things because and they're the one that's heard the most. So that makes the average person think that the average person is nasty. No, you know, I can tell you from experience, from life experiences, and even this experience that when you're down and out and going through stuff, good people step up. But they too busy doing good, and they too busy living their life, being purposeful to actually get on here and constantly demean and dog somebody else because that's not what their life is. You know, the people who get on here and that's all they do, that's all they got in life. They ain't got nothing else. So it makes them feel bad to see other people actually going through life and being purposeful and being productive, that they just can't help but try to put their misery out on other people. So, you know, I say us people, us good people, us people who want a better place, a better world for our families and our kids, we need to stay stepping up. You need to step up. Ignore the noise. It's ignore all the messy people, and just keep on pushing forward and making the world and our community as best we can. You know, I absolutely love y'all guys. I love y'all for what y'all have been doing. I love y'all for who y'all are, and I'm gonna continue to rock with y'all. You know, we gonna get this thing together. We gonna get us a group of amazing people that's gonna be doing amazing things for each other. We gonna leave this world a better place. While these miserable people continue to try to tear it down, we gonna outdo them. So, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and continue this vacation, and I definitely appreciate y'all again. Until the next time,